What's up, Lore Masters? My name is James and I'm from the Lore Reloaded channel. EckhartsLadder asked me to pitch hit for him today, so here we are. Now, if you're a fan of my channel, you know generally I cover all kinds of lore, but I'm most known for my Trek breakdowns, so I figured, why not do a video comparing Trek to Star Wars? Because I'm sure everyone here is going to enjoy me nitpicking Star Wars itself. Yeah, he's never going to ask me to do this again. But anyway, I'm not worried. It's not like Star Wars and Star Trek fans have issues getting along, so While the two different series seem to be leagues apart, both Star Wars and Star Trek have quite a few things in common. One thing specifically is that they show how peaceful democratic governments who only want peace and for everyone to get along will ultimately betray their core values for their very survival. In Star Wars, it's pretty straightforward. The Galactic Republic, because God forbid we keep it Old Republic because that might remind you of Legends, had stood for about 1,000 generations, or wait, was it years? No, generations. Definitely generations. Anyway, the Galactic Republic would be manipulated into a grievous, get it? War which would tear it asunder ultimately. While the story is not the exact same for Trek, we watch a fledgling democracy fight and claw from the muck to become dominant and spread peace throughout the quadrant, only for it to become a highly militarized state. The in-universe genesis of the United Federation of Planets is bred out of war and conflict. Many don't know, but the Federation started out as the Coalition of Planets. Now, this coalition was to defend against outer threats such as the Romulan Star Empire. Humans, Andorians, Vulcans, and Tellarites would band together in an attempt to create a utopia, a place where any species would be welcome. The coalition would become a federation, and this federation would expand well beyond the borders of the original four members. They would have advancements in technology, and many more member states would join their ranks. In 2256, the United Federation of Planets would have its ideals challenged as a bigoted, racist, and anti-diversity Klingon Empire declared war on them. And the Federation would get the living hell beat out of it. I mean, it was just sad. Apparently, a group of diverse people can get their collective rears beat by a homogenous group of people. And, I mean, when you're looking at Star Wars, at least the Confederacy was diverse. I'm just saying. Luckily, an act of Burnham saved Starfleet, and both the Federation and Klingons would move into an uneasy Cold War, with only intermittent flare-ups. The one thing I will say about Star Trek versus that of Star Wars is that the peaceful democracy, what the Federation would term as a utopia, feels earned. For Star Wars, we effectively start with the decay of the Galactic Republic in canon. Of course, the expanded universe did go into a lot of detail on the Galactic Republic, again known as the Old Republic. Then they made it Legends, meaning none of that really mattered in universe. But back to Trek canon, from 2257 to about 2293, Starfleet safeguarded the Federation and assisted in its expansion. Starfleet would both be a military organization as well as an exploration outfit. The expansion of the Federation wouldn't be easy though. Space was basically a wild, wild west, but during this time, Federation citizens would enjoy a wealth of rights not seen in the history of humanity or anywhere else. And again, looking at the Federation and the Republic, you can see the similarities, where both wanted to strive for something better. Of course, for the Federation, there was still conflict, still war. This did include the Klingon Federation War of 2267, but the average Federation citizen didn't seem to be impacted. In fact, for the 23rd century, the Federation's greatest enemy, the Klingon Empire, had a catastrophic event occur when their moon, Praxis, exploded. The Federation extended an olive branch and decommissioned much of its Starfleet in an attempt to bring peace. And ironically, this worked, with only a few kinks, and the Federation finally had its utopia. Hell, in 2364, we see the Federation flourishing. The United Federation of Planets was arguably the most powerful government in the Alpha Quadrant. Most Federation member worlds would be considered paradise. Federation citizens rarely wanted for anything, and most species had moved beyond the need for money and worked towards only furthering themselves and their own species. Like we see with the Galactic Republic, the Federation had entered into an extreme time of peace. Of course, to be fair, you did have the Cardassian border wars, but the Federation was virtually unopposed. There would be times where the Federation's future was in doubt, like that of the Borg attack, but for the most part, those within the Federation lived without fear. It's at this point that the Galactic Republic and Federation truly sync up, two great empires with no more enemies to challenge them, both ultimately becoming victims of their own hubris. The Galactic Republic lost touch with the Outer Rim, feeding a lot of the resources into the inner core. Likewise, the Federation would not realize how bad it would be for outposts on the edges of Federation space. I mean, most Federation citizens, again, lived in paradise. To be fair, as is with a lot of fiction, there was more than meets the eye when it comes to Star Wars, forces working behind the scenes. But that's not to say that these issues didn't already exist between the inner and outer core, they were just pushed by an unforeseen force. Arguably, it may have even happened to the Federation, but that's a theory for another time. While the Galactic Republic faced off against the CIS, it would be the Dominion that ended the peaceful utopian dream of the Federation. A dream where they believed they were only explorers. And this would be a hard lesson for the Federation. After the end of the Klingon Cold War, the Federation could use diplomatic might or what military assets it had to stop any conflict. They couldn't do this with the Dominion, just like the Republic was not going to have diplomatic ties with the CIS. Hell, there was even some behind the scenes when you consider Star Wars and Star Trek. The Dominion did pit the Alpha Quadrant powers against themselves, and then they invaded. During this time, Starfleet would be pushed back, tens to hundreds of thousands would die, and the Federation would come the closest it had been to being destroyed since 2256. In Star Wars, we see something similar with the CIS making massive gains against the Republic. Unlike the Galactic Republic, though, the devastating Dominion War would not destroy the Federation. But, while we don't have alpha canon verification of this, I do think it changed the government. You can't take the massive losses that the Federation did, watch so many die, create ships of war, and then give it up so easily. The Federation would not be a utopia where everything worked out and everyone was happy anymore. It might still have all the luxuries, but the population would be changed. Public opinion would shift, Starfleet would definitively be a militarized organization, and the Federation, basically the last superpower. It's like I stated before, Star Trek and Star Wars are more similar than most think. They both show how a democracy only wanting peace and exploration ultimately falls into a bloody war that forever changes the utopia, that you cannot be a peaceful democracy without conflict. If you have something, even if you offer it to others, someone else is going to try to take it. But those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Hey guys, congratulations and thanks to EckhartsLadder. This was a ton of fun. Hey, if you want to see a video with my theories on how Starfleet actually started the Dominion War, check in the comments below. I will have a link to a video going live today. And of course, if you've liked this or you like what you see on my channel, definitely consider subscribing. With that out of the way, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to see you on the next EckhartsLadder.